it in the sense of bringing that realm into video games that have helped expand in the background things like anime, mainly because it was not uncommon, and even in college, to be at like a football suite, hang out with a bunch of guys, and guys going on and on and on about the last Dragon Ball Z. And when you start talking about how they got into it, it was normally a maturation of, well, I was playing sports video games and eventually started checking out this video game, and then eventually started listening to this, artist, one being when people figure out how to mash up Wu Tang and DBZ together. It was like a bridging gap for a lot
Watch a
of
step,
people.
kid. Watch a step,
Right,
kid.
right,
Watch a
right.
step, kid.
It was a bridging gap for a lot of people from the mid 90s into the early 2000s to really start expanding things. However, I would say because sports is such a giant consumer lever, that really helped move them into then the video game part. Because again, watching teammates talk about video games, they would go on and on and on and on, but it was always a sports video game, and I would be the kid in the corner, basically like, but who wants to play this like this co-op role playing game with me? And they're like, what? What'd you say, Smitty? What? What'd you say? And I'm like, oh wait, no, I said who wants to get this? Who wants to get this Madden on? Yeah,
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this quest game. I don't want to.
yeah. I
What?
would rent a video game with and it'd be role playing and have some co-op thing. And I'd be like, oh, this is dope. I get, I'll try to get my boys to play with me and blah blah blah, and they'll just look at me. They'll maybe even play a level, and then it would just completely go over their head. And if the TV didn't get smashed at that moment, it gets switched over to something like Madden or any sports game. It's like, hey, no, it's cool. Calm down. It's all right. We have sports.
I just have baby Rashawn in my head just going, I'll let you play the fighter. You can play the fighter. I'll play the spellcaster. It's cool. It's okay.
Yeah. So even there were secret jocks out there. I mean, jocks out there who were secret, at least RPG, because I definitely have played way more hours of RPG than probably many.
That's fair.
All right, Greg, out there, Star Child. What are you going to be doing out there this week and out amongst the stars?
Oh man, we're locked into a survival trip now. No more of the speed that fueled the '90s. That was the fatal flaw in Barack Obama's trip. So I'm going to spend most of this week. I'm getting my vaccine tomorrow.
Woohoo! Fantastic. All right.
I'm gonna be just partying with all the 70-year-olds. You know what I mean? Getting fucked up in these streets.
Yeah.
They're gonna be hours for a little while longer. To cap off, because Rashawn did a little cap off, so I'm gonna do a cap off for coming from an immigrant family. It was never really about the Japanese being a big threat or believing that the United States thought the Japanese were actually a big threat. When you come from another country, you just understand the U.S. is always making you the other. And who the other is doesn't actually matter. It'll be the Russians today. It might even be the British again. It'll be the Japanese tomorrow. It'll be the Chinese next week. There will always be something, because the United States always wants to put a target on someone. And we could trace that mentality all the way back to the industrial military complex. But growing up as an immigrant, you understood that it wasn't so much who the target was on. You just wanted to make sure the target wasn't on your country. And the fear, anything that they said they feared, don't pay any attention to that. So that was my relationship with it growing up and with an immigrant background. That being said, I love this topic. I loved reminiscing about it, definitely. And go see every Hayao Miyazaki movie.
That's the deep stuff right there, man.
It's total nonsense. This idea that if we're getting into my worldview, which is a dark place that I would not invite anybody to. I wouldn't do that because you're my friends, you're our listeners, and we care about you. And I will not bring you to my worldview. That being said, yeah, immigrants, you always understand that. It'll be Iran, it'll be Palestine, it'll be Colombia. Pick a fucking country. The United States just wants someone to make the enemy.
Well,
as an immigrant, you just want to make sure it's not your country.
I have definitely been a hitchhiker in your worldview from time to time. I still voluntarily.
I'm sorry.
I voluntarily go back there. I'm fascinated.
I'm sorry.
I'm too old to be a true chaos tourist when the riots break out. So this is as close as I can get. That's all. I'm like, let's saw some shit. Nah, fucking.
No.
You kids go smash it. That's fine.
Right.
I get it. I get it. I just don't have the energy anymore. Well, thank you both for sitting down with me again for another fantastic little jaunt through this stuff. I really love it. I love that, since doing this and now since having our, we're a couple weeks behind on our taping and I edit some things as we go along, but I've gotten some feedback and hearing stuff. It goes back to the central message of today was that we were never really alone. Like, that's the funny part about it. Is there were a lot more people out there like us than we ever knew. And that this whole thread that we're picking at is a fascinating one. I really do find it interesting how, we do have all these things about us that differentiate us. But in the end, we still love talking about this shit. Like, this is really still what we still want to talk about and what we find interesting. So thank you both so much for sitting down with me. For those of you listening out there, if you can do us a favor, please hop on over to Apple Podcasts. You don't have to listen to us on Apple Podcasts, but rate and review us. It's just the industry standards, kind of the way podcasts work. The more ratings we get, the higher we can climb. If we can climb up and get on some ratings charts, then algorithms pick us up and push us out. And then other people might, if you like us, other people might like us too. So tell your friends. If you don't like us, tell your enemies. Fine with that. You can go just, put the 5-star, and then in the review you can write, clouds are fluffy. I like dogs more than cats. We don't care. It's all okay. Just kind of go on over there, hit that old 5-star on the review, and help us get out there and get noticed. But so this is the Birdman and 3 of Clubs and Starchild all signing off here. Telling you until next time, I want you to keep that heat up and keep your head of steam on.
I feel like at this moment we have to become Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting and just continue to hug you and say it's not your fault.
It's not my fault.
Not your fault.
Like,